The word had spread to the porch before we got out there, and the people sitting at the table had stood up to go hear the big news firsthand. The people getting beers continued to get beers. Phyllis took up 2 cups while I secured seats at the crawfish pot. In a matter of minutes, some of those who had been inside came outside after us, and those who had been outside went in to sample the other climate closer to the action. The expressions guests came out to the porch with did not suggest that someone had just announced their candidacy for public office. When Phyllis was seated and eating, Tony came outside, followed by the mayor and several others. "I want a picture of me driving it," called out the mayor so everyone on the porch would hear it. "Anything you want, friend," said Tony, chuckling loudly as he led the short procession down the stairs. "Let's take the old girl out for a roll." And so the group of 5 or 6 with the mayor and Tony disappeared down the steps and out to the curb. A few minutes later, Carol slipped out and Phyllis scooted over a foot so she could join us at the table. There was music coming out the door and the balance of the crowd was then inside. Maybe after the initial wave of congratulations, choosing to give Carol more personal space after her very personal announcement. Soon, several couples left and the party thinned a bit. At 9, another batch departed. At 10, still seated around the porch table, it was clear the house had mostly emptied out. The crawfish barrel was down to its final third, and the area around the table and chairs was a crawfish heads and tails hazard area. Phyllis and I had taken to tossing our craw heads toward a plastic pail by the railing, though we repeatedly came up short and created another hazard area. Carol seemed too busy eating to notice us, as she methodically created a neat pile of empty tail shells and heads in the shape of a quart-sized pyramid in front of herself. The 2 of us were drunk. Carol was drinking lemon water, which looked refreshing. When Tony came back alone just before 10, it was the group of 4 again. The house was empty and quiet. "Now it's your turn, my love," Tony said to Carol. "My turn for what?" answered Carol into her glass while swallowing some lemon water. "For a drive down Love Street in my convertible, baby." "Is that right?" Carol answered, chuckling, putting her glass back on the table. "That's right. Oh, hey, Mike," Tony interjected, greeting me. "Yeah, that's right," he then repeated to Carol more emphatically. "Now it's time for some real fun. The 4 of us are going out." "Now wait it. No discussion. Drinks are on me." "Love," Tony began to Carol, "you can have a couple of drinks tonight for sure. We'll both quit tomorrow." "Well, I don't know about—" "Sounds good to me," piped in Phyllis. "Michael, dear, I guess I'm your date for the night. What do you know, ain't I lucky? All day at the fest and now a night out," Phyllis added teasingly, smiling and wiping her mouth with a paper towel. "Let's do it." "I'll go, Tony," started Carol. But not in that old death trap." "Ah, but you haven't seen it recently, my love. Lock the house and come downstairs." "Hey, we'll take 2 cars," suggested Phyllis, "in case Michael and I need to split early." Phyllis was enjoying herself. "You got it," Tony said, laughing. "Okay," Carol said, standing up. "I'll clean all this up in the morning. Now, what did you do to the car, my Antonio?" "You'll find out soon enough. Get your things and lock up." "My things? What do I need, if you're buying?" "Right, just lock up. Phyllis, Michael, what car are you taking?" "We'll take my car," said Phyllis. "I'm right across the street." "So where are you taking us?" I asked Tony congenially. "To the dark side of the moon, my friend. French Quarter East, our old stomping grounds." "But there is no dark side of the moon," I said to Tony, playing along and taking his Pink Floyd reference up a notch. "Exactly. It's all dark. Hurry up, sweetie," Tony called to Carol as she disappeared into the house to lock up. Down on the sidewalk, Phyllis and I stood next to the Cadillac while Tony ran the engine. Carol shut the back door, came down the steps, across the backyard, and met us at the driveway. "Have a seat, sweets," Tony said to Carol when she reached the car. He leaned across the padded front bench and pushed the passenger door. Carol remained on the sidewalk, shaking her head in mild mistrust and flipping her keys in her hand. "Why don't you let Michael drive it? It'd be fun for him," Carol suggested. "No, I wouldn't want to." "Yeah, Tony," continued Carol, cutting me off. "Why don't you and Mike go together, and me and Phyllis will take her car? Besides, Phyllis and I need to discuss a few things." "It's safe now," Tony said next, with a smiling, frustrated look in his face. "The seatbelts, Carol. I fixed them." "Oh yeah? Let me see." Carol stepped to the driver's door and looked into the front seats. "Wow, all shiny and new." "Two in the front and one in the back," Tony explained. "The fourth one's going to take some work." "Well, that's terrific. I mean it. But I still need to talk to Phyllis, so why don't you and Mike lead the way, and I'll let you drive me home later." "All right, ladies," Tony submitted, "if you insist. Come on, Mr. Mike. I guess it's you and me." "Where's your car, Phyllis?" "Right over here." "Let's do it. By the way, where are we going?" Carol called to Tony as she rounded the back of his car and started across the street. "How does Harry sound for starters?" Tony turned his head and suggested, loud enough to be heard over the running engine. "Harry's it is. We'll follow you," Phyllis answered.